Officials are pushing back on the threat by Churchill Downs to cancel horse racing at the fairgrounds. The track owner claims a recent court ruling and legislative action hurt their bottom line, leaving no path forward for the iconic racetrack. Paul Murphy reports from Baton Rouge.
There has been horse racing at the New Orleans Fairgrounds in the Gentilly neighborhood for more than 150 years. The historic track's current owner, Churchill Downs, is threatening to pull out of Louisiana, leaving the future of racing here in jeopardy. State Representative Matt Willard, whose district includes the fairgrounds, called the threat a bully move.
They're trying to force their way into getting money from the state, more than $20 million a year, to offset some revenue that they were receiving through additional slot machines, which were ruled unconstitutional by the courts.
A recent state Supreme Court decision barred the use of historical horse racing machines without voter approval. HHRs are electronic gambling devices that allow players to bet on horse races that have already been run. According to Churchill, the decision has resulted in the immediate loss of nearly half of the fairground's off-track betting revenue. In a letter to the Louisiana State Racing Commission, Churchill's CEO said CDI is left with no choice but to request an appearance before the LSRC to begin the next steps for voluntarily surrendering the racing license held by the fairgrounds.
If they're looking for us to work with them, this is not the way to go about it.
The New Orleans City Council is taking steps to make sure the fairgrounds remains a place for horse racing if Churchill decides to sell the property. At Thursday's meeting, members are expected to vote on an emergency measure that would prohibit the issuance of any permits for uses on the site other than as a fairgrounds, racetrack, or as an accessory to those uses. Churchill also complained about a number of bills approved by state lawmakers during the current session that would increase the number of video poker machines at truck stops, restaurants, and bars. CDI claims they are harmful to the economic interest of the fairgrounds and the racino there.
I think Churchill Downs should take that as a sign that there is a possibility that we can work together to come up with a solution here.
In Baton Rouge, Paul Murphy, WWL, Louisiana.
All Saints and Pelicans owner Gail Benson is monitoring that situation at the fairgrounds. Her spokesman Greg Bensel said, quote, "We had numerous calls regarding our interest in purchasing the fairgrounds." Mrs. Benson continues to support the horse racing industry, not only in Kentucky, but more importantly here in Louisiana. And to our knowledge, which is very limited relative to the operations of the fairgrounds, it is not for sale. So, of course, more to come in that situation. For